This is the MMA Takes Podcast. With your host, Brian Petrie.
Hey. Whoa. We're on video, baby. We're on video, baby. We're on video, baby. I apologize for getting this out so late this week. It's Thursday. I like to record on Wednesday. We're on video. I'm going to do every pick 'em on video. God, I look good. Tune in to MMA Takes Podcast on YouTube if you want to see this gorgeous face. But if not, just listen to the audio, subscribe, like, rate, review, blah, blah. We got pick'ems. Listen, you guys know because I won't shut up about it. Getting a tattoo Saturday, pretty much all day. Getting this guy. Say goodbye. See this? You probably never seen this arm before. Look how fucking meaty that is, right? This haul gonna be covered come Saturday. I'm very, very excited about it. Won't shut up about it. I can't wait till it's here, but I'm going in at noon. The fight starts. See, I've been tricked before because the fights start, I think, relatively early. Let's go to Tapology. Let's see. I thought they started at 10 a.m., but I think the main card starts at 4, so that would put the prelim card. All right, let's see here. Tapology, 1 p.m. Eastern's when it starts. Okay, so I'll be an hour in of getting my arm just fucking dug in. And then, but yeah, like I said, if the guy's a talker, I'm going to talk to him. They're going to be on my phone while I'm getting tatted the fuck up. I have said on the recap show that I might not gamble. That's crazy. I'm going to go tomorrow. I'm going to go Friday. I'm going to go down there. I'm going to place my bets. There's spots I like on this card. I want to do a pick'em. Family's been sick. Wife's sick as a dog. I got sick. Missed work on Tuesday. Throat was hurting. Felt like I was swallowing knives. I'm rebounding. Daughter was sick. She kicked that shit in like 12 hours. Little one's still sick. Little runny nose. Wife took the brunt of it. The old wifey took the motherfucking brunt of it. Poor, tough, poor woman. But we're powering through. So I almost didn't do the pick'em. That's why it's a little late. Drag my feet. Got a lot of things to do. You know, I'm a dad. You know what I mean? That's what us dads do, you know? But we got a pretty decent card here. I like my picks. You know, I'm a straight shooter. I tell you guys if my picks are shit. I tell you if I'm feeling it. A lot of these fights, I feel like I got a good beat on. I dove in a little bit besides one fight, which we'll talk about. I maybe should have done a little more research, but what are we going to do? So let's get to the picks. Let's not waste any more motherfucking time. Oh, look at that. Switching scenes on you. Yeah, okay. First fight of the night. Boom. Look at that. God, your boy is trying some new things production-wise. Let's respect it. Still iron some things out. Got this from Tapology instead of making my old shitty graphics. Let's fucking go. First fight of the night. Yancy Medeiros. This motherfucker is a plus 120. He is fighting Damir Hadzovic. He is, what is he? He's a minus 150. This is not a rematch, a rebooking, I should say, of a previous, they were supposed to fight. COVID happened. I don't know which one of these guys had COVID. One of them did. So it is what it is, right? Lance Medeiros has, is he won his last? Tapology has confused me. Is he lost his last three? Is he won his last three? Let's look it up. I got it pulled up right here. Yeah, so he lost his last three. That was his last three losses. But against tough competition, Landon Nevada, Gregor Gillespie, Donald Cerrone. Then you got Damir Hadzovic, who got just dropped and choked out by Renato Moicano, who's fighting later on this card, and was like, hey, I want to keep fighting. And it's like, Moicano's like, well, bro, like, sorry, I dropped you quick and choked you out. What do you want from me? What do you want from me, guy? But I think Damir's a solid dude. His record spot, he's inconsistent with his record, but Yancey was the underdog darling last time they fought. A lot of people I respect pick Yancey. He's a tough dude. His chin could be an issue right now. He's an old, how old is he? What does this say right here? My eyes are bad. 33. He's an old 33. He's an old 33. He's an old dog. He's put a lot of miles on 33 years old, but he's a scrapper. He's good on the ground. He's bounced around camps a bit. I think he's with Max down there in Hawaii. I think he stayed in Hawaii. I think he's with Max. They got some really underrated coaches down there. A lot of people don't really know who Max is training with. He doesn't come out of this huge camp. He didn't go to BJ's. He didn't do all these things in Hawaii. And Yancey went there, which I thought was a smart move. But I think just Demir, with his inconsistency, I do think he's going to just have a little too much for Yancey. I think there's going to be moments where Yancey is going to look good in this fight. And there's moments where he's not, right? And that's just as simple as that. I like Yancey Medeiros in this fight, or excuse me, I like Damir Hadjovic in this fight. So I'm gonna put my little W on him. Boom. Demir's getting the dub for me. -150. If you're confident in it, sure. I kind of wavered on that fight a little bit. I don't know either I don't really know too much about Damir besides getting shut out and lights out by Renato Mercado. I did look at his tape. I think he has good qualities. I think if he can put it together, he could win this fight. He has a style to win this fight, but there's a lot of buts and ifs and what. I think Yancey's a dog in there, and I think he's really good dog money. I'm going to lay off this fight. I am not going to bet this fight personally, but if you're a dog hunter, if you're dog the bounty hunter, bruh, maybe go for Yancey here. You know what I mean? But it's just not something I'm willing to take right now. Next fight. Let me make sure I'm clicking these buttons right. We got, this fight stinks. I'm going to say stinks. Charles Rosa versus Justin James. Rosa's a -167 favorite. Justin James a +135 underdog. James comes in, knocks out Camacho. All of a sudden, he's the fucking king of the world. Dropped his last 3. He's a durable dude. He's tough in there. He's been getting the shit kicked out of him by some really good strikers lately, though. So this is a nice change of pace. He's getting Charles Rosa, who I've already taken his black belt away. I have no authority to do that, and I have no idea who Charles Rosa got his black belt from, but I took it away. The way he's been getting dominated on the ground and his arrogance to the fact that he thinks he's this high elite black belt when he gets absolutely embarrassed on the ground. No, I took that shit away. It's gone. I took it away. But in this fight, this is another matchup that I just don't like. I just don't like either of these guys. I personally think these are fringe guys. I think literally loser leaves town. See ya. Justin James will probably get a call up because he lives in Vegas and he's an exciting guy. But, Charles Rosa has been in the UFC. Seems like forever. I feel like he's just digressing. I feel like he used to put on really exciting fights and now he's not. So with that being said, I'm going to go Rosa here. I'm going to move the W to Rosa. I just don't like this fight. Hopefully right and during when I'm getting my tattoo, this is the fight that's on that I'm talking to the guy a lot because I just really don't care. I know that's horrible as me sounding as a fan. I don't have a good read on it. I don't really want to see these guys match up all that much. And the line's a little weird to me. I understand why Rose is a favorite because Justin James has not looked good, but he's also fighting fucking killer strikers. So I'm going to go Rosa, even though I'm going to regret it because, again, I've demoted that guy from brown belt. He's brown belt. I don't even know if he's brown belt, right? The motherfucker might be a blue belt if we're really fucking being honest with you, the way he's looked on the motherfucking ground. All right. Next up, Julia Villa versus I'm going to have a hard time pronouncing this name. Julia Storolenko. Last name's easy. I really like Julia Villa. I think Julia Villa is a really solid prospect. I think she's fought some good competition. She's looked pretty good. She's looked like a killer in there. And she's also looked very pedestrian in there. Storolenko, this girl's one way to win only. Get your fight to the ground, submit you. I don't know if she's going to do that. I'm going to go Avila here, giving her the dub. Real quick, real short, real sweet. Don't want to dive in too much of this fight. I think Avila is the better fighter. I think she's fought better competition. And I think Storolenko has looked, in her small UFC career, I thought she's looked really good, but she's a little too one-dimensional. And I like it. The lines, excuse me for the lines here if you can't read it on the screen. Julia Villa is a -315, huge favorite. And Storolenko is a +250. Again, Storolenko, she's good at that one thing. So if you think she's that good at her one thing, 250 is a great fucking number. I think Julia Villa, though, this is mixed martial arts. I think she's more well-rounded. I think she's fought the tougher competition. And I think she's just going to be a dog in there and really chase for a finish. I think she knows what's at stake. I think she wants to be at the top of the heap in this division. 135 to fight Nunes, in my opinion, besides some of the cream of the crop, it's pretty open out at the top. You got Pena fight Nunes. And then, who else? You can't keep fucking feeding Holly Holm in there. You can't keep doing that. You got some real fucking bad bitches at 135, but I think Avila can really get her way up there with a real dominant win here, and I think she's thinking the same thing. So I'm going to go Avila here, Julia Avila. It's a high number. Again, not a fight I'm running out the fucking bet. I'm probably not going to bet it, but it's something that I'm interested in. Fuck, I knew I forgot something. I forgot to lock all my locks up. I forgot to lock them up. Speaking of that next fight, Marcin Prachnio versus Ike Villanueva. Prachnio, guy's in my doghouse, okay? I don't know if I should blame him. I'm definitely blaming him because this is a guy who has no fucking chin, right? Decent striker, came in the UFC with a little bit of hype because he's a finisher. Gets knocked out every time he fights in the UFC. And then he fights Khalil Roundtree, the final leg in my parlay, one of the more confident picks I've ever made. And he decides to decision him, and Khalil Roundtree just decides not to show up. This dude developed a fucking chin. What is happening? So, Prachnio, I'm upset with you. Khalil Roundtree, you're fucking dead to me. But with this fight, Ike Villanueva is not very good either, if I'm being honest with you. Prachnio is a minus 215 favorite, and Ike Villanueva is plus 170. Listen, I'm not gonna beat around the bush here. I'm gonna tell you, I'm going Ike Villanueva. I'm moving the W to Villanueva. He's getting this dub. Listen, Villanueva has had actually some weird fights in the UFC, right? Fought a heavyweight, came in at a heavyweight. Let me show you. Let me talk to you through this guy, right? Here we go. Came in at heavyweight against Chase Sherman, right? Elbows, got knocked out by Chase Sherman. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Before that, he beat Rashad Coulter. He fought in the UFC. Losing the big old Mississippi mean country boy Chase Sherman. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Chase Sherman is a comparable heavyweight. He's solid, and you drop your debut. Then you fight Jordan Wright, that fucking serial killer, that psychopath. You fight him, you get cut in the first round, right? That can happen to anybody, right? It was an aggressive fight. You didn't get put down or anything. You just got caught with a big shot, horrible cut, right stoppage. But, you got that fight got taken out of your hands for a reason. Then you fight Vinces Moreira, who stinks. The guy's not good. You knock him out in the second round. You do what you're supposed to do. You cut down to 205 for the Jordan Wright fight. You cut down to 205 for the Moreira fight, which is the right thing to do, and you go out and win. Now, you got Prachnio, who is a good striker, right? As much as I want to bag on his chin, which is dog shit, the guy has some skills. He showed in a clear Roundtree fight. He does keep distance pretty well. He knows how to move pretty well. But there's the chin issue, and then I think there's an aggressive issue. I think there's a confidence issue. Ike Villanueva's back's against the wall here. This is a guy that has a dog shit record. He is 37 years old. So, time's a ticking. I think he needs to go out there, and I think he is going to go out there, and he's going to fucking put on pressure and just hunt Prachnio down. He can take a shot, and he goes, you know what? I can take a shot. I'm giving this guy the best I got. This is the dumbest thing I might have ever said because I'm not a coach, I'm not a fighter. But if I was Ike Villanueva's coach, I would say, you got to finish this in the first round. Because the more steam this guy builds up, the more relaxed he gets. He can't open up on you. He does have some good striking. But if I was in Ike Villanueva's corner, Ike's not the most cleanest technical guy in the world. He's a power guy. He's a bruiser a little bit. He wants to get in there. He wants to fuck you up. He wants to rough you up. I would fucking in his corner, but listen, motherfucker, you got to go out there and you got to get this out of the first round. So with this fight, I'm taking Villanueva as a dog here. Let me look up since I didn't lock up anything. There's a couple dogs I like. Let me see if, yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it, baby. Let me get rid of this W. Hey, you want some dogs? Damn it. The graphic didn't come up right. Here we go. Watch this. Watch this. I'm not editing that out. You want some dogs?
Be a dog. We don't need no meows. We don't need no cats. We need more dogs.
We need more dogs. You see it there on the screen. Ike Villanueva is going to be my underdog lock of the night. Woo woo. I was very ill prepared for this. I did not have any locks written down. It was between Ike and two other people I like, but I really like Ike. I don't trust Prachnio's chin. I don't think anyone should. And yeah, that's where we're at with that. And I feel comfortable with that pick. I feel comfortable with that pick. I feel comfortable with that pick. If I tell myself enough, I think I'm going to believe it. And excuse me, I know I'm a little kind of messy and all over the place. I'm still working out the video stuff. I'm a one-man show here. Other fucking people, they got producers, they got post-edit. I'm doing this all on the fly. There is a little thing that you can buy that, it makes everything easier with the graphics and whatnot. Not there yet. Okay. Not there yet. It's a work in progress. The audio is going to sound crisp, guaranteed, but the video stuff, we're working on it. But still go subscribe, baby. Go subscribe. See this face. See this fucking face. But Ike Villanueva was my guy. Underdog lock. Bruiser. Let's fucking go. And next up, Worley Alvarez versus Jeremiah Wells. Short notice fight for Worley Alvarez. This guy, again, if rounds were, did I even give the Pracneo odds? Yeah, I think I did. Minus 215 versus plus 170. I'm all over the fucking place. This fight, Worley Alvarez is a plus 245 and Jeremiah Wells is Worley Alvarez is a minus 205, 245. What the fuck is wrong with me, Brian? Get it together. Minus 245 is Worley Alvarez. There, I said it. Good job. Jeremiah Wells plus 187. This fight, Worley Alvarez is a problem in those first rounds. I mean, again, this is a guy who's got a win over Colby Covington, right? And he just had a really big win his last time out. Burned me bad. Munar Lazez, who I was very high on, he fucking put a stamp on him. Jeremiah Wells coming on short notice here. A grappler, not a prolific finisher, likes to get in there, likes to mix it up, wants to get the fight to the ground, can wear on you a little bit, has decent submissions, but he's not fully completed yet. But with that being said, his strong suits could give Alves problems. If Alves taking this fight on short notice doesn't respect Wells, goes out there and says, I've been in the UFC for X amount of years, fuck this guy, I'm a huge favorite, it could be a problem. I can smell upset here. Plus 187, that's actually a fairly low number. So there is tape out there in Jeremiah Wells that people respect. Vegas is respecting this kid. Now for me, I prefaced at the beginning of the show, I should have dove more in Jeremiah Wells. I have not. I've looked up some tape of him. I obviously looked up his record, but I am not super familiar with the kid. We can go over his record right now before I give my pick out. So Marco Smallman, hell of a name, rear naked choke. That was back in 2019. So he hasn't fought in 2020. It's been a little bit. Looks like he's been signed to the UFC because he's supposed to fight Bobby Nash, Bobby Lee, right? Two Bobbies, Bobby Lee and then Miguel Baeza, all in 2020. All those guys are in the UFC, I believe. He has a loss over Vince's de Jesus decision. That was back in 2019 as well. He's busy 2019. Jason Norwood, solid guy, has a decision win over him. John Manley, solid guy, has a decision win over him. Gary Boleto has a good record. I don't know him. Knocked him out. Has a draw with Basile Hafez. What has Basile done? He's 6-3. Okay, never really made it to anything else. 6-3. Has a draw with him, but that was back in 2017. Lost to Manley Wallow at back in 2016 by decision. So never been finished. Has one knockout. Most of his wins by decision. And a couple by submission. His last fight was by submission over Marco Smallman. 7-3. This guy had a shot anywhere. CFFFC. Nah, King of the Cage. Nothing. Where's he coming from? Where's he at? American Karate, Jiu-Jitsu, Wrestling, Michigan. Michigan got some studs right now. But Jeremiah Wells coming out, Philly. Tough Philly. Those Philly boys are tough. So I'm actually, don't let the W confuse you. I'm going to go Worley Alvarez here. I'm going to go the chalk. I don't have the balls to place it on Wells. I don't have enough information. That's on my end. That's my fault. I've had a week, boys. I've had a week. But if you're reading lines, in which a lot of cappers do, this kid's getting a lot of respect. Now, I got these lines yesterday. They could have moved drastically. It was a fresh line that just came out. They could have jumped all over the place. It was the last line to come out since it was the last fight booked. But Worley Alvarez has it in him to just beat anybody. And with a guy like Jeremiah Wells, who has a decent record on his name, decent records on his name, hasn't fought in like 2 years. Has some good names on his record. That's how you fucking say that, Brian, you dumb shit. Has fights out of Philly, which is becoming a more and more hotbed for MMA right now. It used to be a boxing town. It's still a boxing town, but now it's becoming an MMA town, which is great. You got Dawkins Brothers, Eddie Alvarez, so forth. But I like Worley Alvarez. I'm gonna go chalk. I wish I had the balls to take the underdog. I wish I did. I wish I was like, you know what, fuck it. I think Jeremiah Wells, and again, I just don't know enough about him. I'm ill prepared, and I apologize. But I promise you, the guys that I do know about, guaranteed winner. Guaranteed winners. I give one mortal lock. The entire card. But I'm confident to say that I have at least 2 or 3 mortal locks. Or maybe even dog locks. Fuck it. Let's get wild. Let's get crazy. Little nectars of the gods there. Let's move on. Marcel Paredes versus... I love this guy. I think this guy is incredibly talented. I'm going to have to learn how to pronounce his name. Shavkat Rakhmonov. Shavkat Rakhmonov. Awesome fight. Michel Paredes is a, plus 215 underdog. Shakhman is a minus. Shakhkat Rakhmonov. I can say Rakhmonov. Rakhmonov is a minus 275 favorite. This kid is a fucking problem. I like this kid. He comes out in a wolf hat. I looked up tape before his UFC debut, fell in love with him. I think he was a favorite in his UFC debut as well. Against Alex Cowboy Rivera, finished him in round 1 with a sick guillotine choke, controlled the entire fight. This kid is confident. He's from he's Combo. He's from Kazakhstan, which I believe is born in Uzbekistan, fighting out of Kazakhstan, which I believe is where Triple G's from. The breeding fighters. He is undefeated, right? Okay, 13-0. All finishes. There's a fight that he fought Marcus Vincius back in 2014. It just says win on Tapology. So I actually don't know if that's a finish. I'm going to assume it is, okay? I'm going to take the leap and say he finished that guy because I don't know who he is. He was 6-6 the time they fought. Yeah, he finished him. So that's really impressive. This kid is an absolute savage, and I think the UFC knows that. And I think Vegas knows that. That's why he priced so high. But Michel Paredes, this motherfucker's been around for a long time. People sleep on him. When I saw this fight announced, I went, oh, Rakhmonov's got it. That's my guy. That's my dude. That's my guy that he's going to fucking dominate. But then I sat back and was like, well, wait a second. Michel Paredes, I know there's been some steroid stuff, allegedly. Fought at 55. Now he's at 170. He's wider than my fucking house. I started to kind of backtrack a little bit and go, wait a second. Let's kind of think about this, Brian. Let's put the Kappa brain on. Let's really sit down and really dive into this because Paredes, even though he's not the most active guy in the world, the guy shows up to fight. So he lost his last fight back in 2019. It's been 2 years since he's seen him against Ismail Nardif. Lost by decision. Before that, he was on a 8 fight win streak. Lost to Kevin Lee by decision. Got out wrestling that fight. Then he beat Vamir Lazo. Who cares? JC Contrell. Who cares? Gilbert Burns. Ever heard of him? I know Gilbert Burns at 155 is way different than Gilbert Burns at 170, but Gilbert Burns is still a fucking talented fighter. Josh Berkman choked him out. Good name, but not a great fighter. Mads Burrell, good wrestler, choked him out. Des Green, solid, scrappy dude. Zach Cummings at 170. Kid's a beast. I actually don't know if he won that fight, though. And Bartosz Wazinski choked him out as well. Another very awkward style guy. Lost to Ismail. Took 2 years off. Maybe he got popped for steroids. Don't know why he was off. Allegedly. And now he's got my boy Shavkat Rakhmonov. And I want to hammer this 275. That doesn't scare me. When a guy's this good that I think's this good, now this is what gets me in trouble. He's only had one fight in the UFC against a name, Cowboy Rivera. But Cowboy Rivera is, he's good, but he's not great, right? Good benchmark. I get really excited about young talent, right? Rakhmonov is a young, talented guy. Good grappling, good finishing instincts. Okay on the feet. He's better on the ground than he's on the feet, but he does have some knockouts. He is powerful. And you get Michel Paredes, who I don't think's ever been finished in the UFC. The guy's only got 3 losses. He's getting a little older. He's 39 years old. That's going to catch up with him. He's been 2 years off. He's undersized in this fight. So what do you do? And again, this is the stuff that gets me in trouble. So let me hit this W here, okay? I'm going to put it in the middle. Put it in the middle. If you're watching this, sorry if you're audio only. What do you do here? Do you let the old Brian, who gets very excited about young fighters and they end up biting him in the ass, and then you end up being wrong about the talent that you have sought after, that you think you can scout talent, and then your ego takes a hit and your wallet takes a hit? Is the old Brian going to come back, or am I going to go, you know what? Pick Rakhmonov, but it's a dangerous fight because Paredes is a good, talented guy. What do you think I'm going to do? Well, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Mortal lock.
He's the best. Love it.
I love Rakhmonov here. I'm not swaying. O'Brien's here to fucking stay. Multi units on Rakhmonov over Pereira. I think he's going to go out. I think he's going to style him. I think it'll be a huge, I think the UFC knows what they're doing. Huge feather in Rakhmonov's cap if he can finish Pereira, because Pereira is a fucking little goddamn fire hydrant. If you go out there and finish this guy, you got some stake and claim at 170. There's some beasts at 170, and this kid's one of them. I love it. Again, O'Brien. Now listen, if he goes out and gets clipped by Pereira, who fucking throws heat and gets put down and gets choked out because he's got good chokes, I mean, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I definitely know if it happens while I'm still getting tattooed, my tattoo will have there will be a line out of place because I will freak out and move. But let's just hope that doesn't happen. Let's just hope that doesn't happen. Excited for that fight. All right, next up, Danilo Marquez versus Kennedy Nzechukwu. Danilo Marquez is give me the lines here. -107 plus -107 for Marquez, -118 for Kennedy. I'm not gonna try to pronounce that fucking last name again. Fight I don't love on paper. I think Marquez is, I don't think he's great, right? I don't think he's terrible. I'm not like super in love with him, but I know a lot of people do like him. He's good on the ground. Kennedy coming off a knockout over Carlos Olberg, looked really good, showed a lot of good heart in that fight, but he's a striker. Danielo's a grappler. I mean, whenever that happens, I'm gonna lean grappler because I think Marquez can get this fight to the ground and submit him, and that's what I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna go Marquez by submission. And that's a prop I'm probably going to take. I don't know if I'll do money line on that fight. I think I'm going to do away with the W's. This is just me talking out loud. They won't place where I want, and it's just a mess fucking visually, so whatever. I'm picking this guy. You see that guy? Danilo Marquez. That's who I'm picking. Let's move on. Again, I'm sorry to keep these short and sweet, but I really don't think I need to break down this fight for fucking 40 minutes. Kennedy's a striker. He's long, tall, rangy, has good knockout power, shows some good heart. He is very young in his MMA career. So is Danilo Marquez, who's been touched on the feet a few times, has just showed some pretty good heart. But when he gets to the ground, he has shown that he can be lights out on the ground. We haven't really seen Kennedy to the ground yet. The answer of this question is going to be, can Danilo take Kennedy down, right? They're obviously working all camp for him to not get taken down. So we'll see. Kennedy, good knockout power, good strong guy, shows some good cardio against Olberg. And Danilo Marquez has shown just relentlessness with his takedowns. He doesn't give a fuck. He's coming after you. And you got to respect that a little bit. So I'm going to go Danilo Marquez. It's a pick'em fight. Again, I'm probably just going to prop the sub. I don't think I'm going to do money line for this. I'm going to go sub Marquez. I'm sure it's at a plus number. I think that's your best bet. Or Kennedy by knockout if you're on that way. All right, Renato Moicano versus Jai Herbert. Moicano is a -250 favorite. Herbert's a plus 195. I'm flirting with Herbert here. This isn't as easy as I thought because I'm actually high on Moicano. And then you look at some of his last fights, and he hasn't looked that good. This was a guy, when he fought Brian Ortega at 145, before he moved up to 55, he was winning a lot of that fight. It was a competitive fight, but he was winning a lot of that fight and then just got caught. I thought this dude was a real deal because I have high praise for Ortega. Then he just kind of goes on a little, falls apart a little bit at 45, and then he goes up to 55, and it's been a little mixed bag here. Jai Herbert coming off his loss against Francisco Trinaldo, where he got absolutely knocked out. And this is when Dan Hardy, the famous Dan Hardy, arguing with Herb Dean. He thought it was a late stoppage. Herbert's been a staple of English MMA for a while. He's friends with a lot of people. He's 33 years old, good striker, pretty good anywhere, good fitness, good cardio, but chin obviously is going to be a little bit of an issue here. Moicano has really pivoted his game. I think his stand-up's really good. I think he's incredibly technical. I think he's fast. I think he's powerful. I think his defense is a little bit of a problem. I think his chin isn't what he wants it to be, but he's really good on the ground. I think he's going to look for takedowns. I think he's going to stay away from Herbert. They're going to stand up on the feet, and they're going to exchange on the feet, and then Moicano's going to try to get it to the ground. Now, at plus 195, though, are you willing to take a shot on Herbert? I think you could. I'm picking Moicano. That's my official pick is Moicano. But I can see some money coming in on Herbert because Moicano has shown to be vulnerable with his chin. He has shown to be vulnerable. Really, that's it. Defensively in his chin. Pretty good on the ground. And I mean, he's been choked out before by Ortega. Didn't he get choked out by... What does he get choked up by? Who else did he get choked up by? He got choked up by somebody. Where's it at? Chin Sung Jung knocked him out. Aldo knocked him out. He choked out Demir, and then Rafael Vaziz, who's a fucking problem, knocked him out. He's choked other people out. So he's only been choked out by Ortega. I rephrased my thing. Herbert coming out the loss over Francisco Trinaldo, who's like 100 years old, but even though he's a spry 100, he's a motherfucking spry 100. I don't know. I was all over Herbert in the Trinaldo fight. He looked good early, and then he just kind of fell apart. I think he's a good prospect. I think he's former champion outside the UFC, which you got to respect. Those Cage Fury guys, those Cage Warrior guys, whatever it's called, they are legit dudes. They come over and they're good. And Moicano, I think, is steamed a little bit high for this fight. I do think he has more ways to win. I am picking him because I'm a little second fucking square bitch. But I think Herbert at plus 195 is something that people need to take a look at, including myself. Next up, Nicholas Dalby versus Tim Means. Nicholas Dalby, 19-3-1. Tim Means, 31-12-1. I don't know why I read the records. Dalby, plus 110. Tim Means, minus 137. Dalby, a little bit of underdog here. He blew up my spot last time he fought against D-Rod, Daniel Rodriguez. Very, very close fight. I had Rodriguez win in. Dalby won it. Definitely, he's an awkward guy, right? He has a draw with Darren Till. He's got a couple draws elsewhere outside the UFC. He's got that crazy fight where they had to stop it because there's too much blood in the cage or something. Like the cage, this guy's been through it all, right? Had some addiction issues, and he fixed those, and he got himself back in the UFC. He's looked pretty good since he's been back in the UFC. He's also looked like shit. Jesse Ronson knocked him out, which surprised me. Ronson got popped for steroids. What you got to do, right? Take that loss away. Enter Tim Means. Tim Means is business, 37 years old. This guy's not getting any nicer with age, right? This guy's a fucking angry man. He's a mean man. I hate to do that, but he is. Gets in there and he don't give a fuck. I want to touch gloves, right? Let's not play patty cake. I'm in here to fucking smash your face. I like that Tim Means went up 170. He was at 155 for most of his career, which I think was a horrible cut. He's huge. I mean, he's 6'2", but he's like a long 6'2". Enter Nicholas Dalby, who keeps a weird pace, right? And Dalby is shown to be very durable, and then there's times where he's shown that he gets caught and quits. He quit against Ronson. He got knocked down, and he got choked out by Ronson quickly. He didn't really fight for anything. So I don't really know the mental state of Dalby, if I'm being honest with you, but I do think he's a tough, durable guy. I think he can really push Means here. I think the way for Dalby to win is make an ugly fight. Tim Means has really good striking. He's good in the clinch. He's aggressive. His cardio isn't world class. Again, he's getting a little older, but he's dangerous everywhere. His elbows are good. He is good on the ground, but off his back, Dalby takes him down and can work some ground and pounds and work some fuck him up. Tim Means had some submissions off his back. He's got good chokes, but that's the way to beat Means is you take him down. You can hurt him on the feet as well, but you take him. You know what? This has never happened before. I have mid me breaking it down with this fucking brain. This is not planned. Me breaking it down mid, I'm switching my pick. I had Dalby as an underdog. I'm on Tim Means. The way I was breaking it down, I was like, wait, how is Dalby going to win? Because Tim Means is active on his guard. He's punishing in the clinch. He's got great knees, elbows, good strikes. His chin has held up for the most part. He has been slapped before by Nico Price, but has held up. And the minute Dalby doesn't get to set this pace, because he's not going to be able to set the pace, Tim Means is walking forward. He's not Daniel Rodriguez. Daniel Rodriguez is a pretty technical striker, pretty aggressive, but he let Dalby set the pace. Dalby won the decision. Most of the time, that's what happens with Dalby. Dalby has been clipped before. He's been put down before. Tim Means has underrated power. I'm going Tim Means. I switched my pick mid fucking. That's never happened before. That's crazy. I had a fucking boom epiphany or whatever you want to call it. I'm confident Tim Means now. What the fuck was Brian thinking? I'm confident Tim Means. Timmy Means business getting this done. Dirty Bird. All right, next up, Andre Fili versus Daniel Pineda. Fili is a minus 230 favorite. Pineda is a plus 180. It's funny because if Pineda would have beat Cub Swanson, this fight would have been a lot closer on paper. I've notoriously have hated on Andre Fili. I have ever since the Yair Rodriguez knockout. I'm like, this dude's shitty. This dude's not good. This dude's whatever. And he goes out there and if he loses a fight, it's fucking close. Or he's, against Bryce Mitchell, right? He went in there and got taken down, but he was fighting for everything to get up. Cardio was good. Bryce Mitchell is infuriating type dude to fight. I mean, the dude's on you left and right, can't get him off you. And this Philly had to withstand it, did really well, and then eventually Bryce did what Bryce did. So I got to pay some Philly respect here. Pineda is a guy who a little bit older, right? Finally back in the UFC, was in the UFC forever, has crazy. Both these guys have a lot of experience. Pineda looked really good in the beginning of Cub Swanson fight, looked huge in that fight. Looked like he cut a lot of weight for 145. He's a thick kid. He's not young, not a kid. He's a man, thick man, and he's not getting any younger. So I'm going to go Philly here. I think Philly's just a more skilled guy. I think Philly's takedown is very underrated. I think he can get anybody in the division down. I think his stand-up's pretty good. And a guy that I've criminally underrated, I'm going to rock with Philly. You know what? And I feel like since I always kind of bag on him and pick against him, I feel like I should bet him. Minus 230 is a little scary. That is a little high. Pineda does have some power. He does have some submissions. He is a vet. He's been in there. He's very well-rounded. But I feel like I owe it to Philly. You know what I mean, Andre Philly? To maybe sprinkle something on him. To bet him. Because I've dogged him. And I don't think I've ever really been ruthless. I just said, he's going to lose, right? I'm never on Team Philly's camp. It's a guy I've overlooked. And then I rewatched the Bryce Mitchell fight. And I'm like, yeah, he's losing. But Bryce is so fucking difficult to deal with. And Philly dealt with it pretty well. I mean, in a decision loss, right? And then the Sadiq Yusuf fight, I know he lost that, but that was an extremely close fight. Sadiq has big power. Yeah, I'm going to go Andre Philly here. Minus 230. I like that pick. And let motherfucking go. Let's keep going. Fight I'm looking forward to the most, probably it's probably the fight I'm looking forward to the most. Hannibal Barcelos versus Timur Valley. Barcelos is a 230 as well. Timur Valley is a plus 180. That makes a lot of sense to me. So Barcelos is a guy. There's always a guy in the division. They'll tweet out, and maybe Barcelos does tweet this out. I don't follow him, and I don't know if I don't speak Portuguese if he does tweet in English. There's guys in the division that no one wants to fight, right? It is. Like, fighters will fight him. They'll be like, yeah, I'll fight him. I don't give a fuck. But they really don't want to. Barcelos is that guy. Really good striking, really good jiu-jitsu, really good wrestling. Enter Timur Valley, who has looked unimpressive. Came into the UFC with one loss. Had a good fight against, Jones, right? What's his name? Trevin Jones, right? Had a good fight going against Trevin Jones, which they actually wiped out from his record. So he did have 2 losses. Okay. They wiped because Trevin Jones popped for a little bit of weed, but was dominating Trevin Jones and then got slept. It came out, decision Martin Day, big fucking whoop. I think Trevin Jones is a solid fighter. I think he's got a lot of power. But then you decision Martin Day, that's the guy you finish. Martin Day is a tough, durable dude, but that's the guy you finish, right? David Grant knocked him out. You finish Martin Day. Timur Valley, good grappler, good striker, but Barcelos, I think, is just on another level. Hannibal Barcelos, this dude's a fucking savage. I think you're getting good value at 230. I'm confident in this guy. This guy hasn't got a chance yet, right? He's ranked, what is he? Where they rank him? 17th? Not even in the top 10, not even the top 15 in bantamweights. Probably because he hasn't fought. He's not the most active guy, number one. Number two, hasn't fought a ton of competition in the UFC. So Kurt Hurlaba had a couple runs in the UFC, solid fighter. He knocked him out with uppercut. Oh, gorgeous knockout. I wish I had a video clip. Chris Gutierrez submission him on the Ultimate Fighter finale. Gutierrez leg kick champ right now. That motherfucker's kicking everyone up. Choked him out in the second round. Carlos Hassan, what are you going to do, right? Now they all can't be winners. Ground and pound second round. Saeed Nurmagomedov. Yeah, right. He fucking beat a Nurmagomedov. It's Saeed, but he beat him. Beat him by decision. And then Khalid Taha, who I think is a really durable, tough, powerhouse motherfucker. Decision him back in 2020, back in November. A lot of guys don't want to fight this guy. Inactivity's killing him. He should be in the top 15. I think he's top 10 talent. I'm going Hannibal Barcelos here. This is going to be not my mortal lock, but Johnny Anik.
Send him home. Send him home early.
Get him out of here. Hannibal Barcelos wins this fight. I think more than likely this could be a knockout because I think Timur Valley is good on the ground. I think he can probably avoid some submissions. It could be club and sub. It could be catching the feet, subbing on the ground. But I like Rony Barcelos here. I love saying his name too. Rony Barcelos. It's a fucking great name to say. Let's go. Co-main event. OSP versus Tanner Bozier. Tanner Bozier spinning around really quickly after his loss over Lillard Latifi. OSP's plus 140. Tanner Bozier minus 177. This fight is tough because I'm very mad at Bozier from losing to Lillard Latifi. He gave up in that third round. He thought he was up 2. Didn't really work to get off his back. All he had to do was just work to get up off his back. I think he wins that fight. And he didn't. And I knew it cost him. It cost me money. And Bozier's a guy who people were high on. I was pretty high on him. I dove into his record. Hasn't fought anybody. Hasn't beaten anybody. He's fought people. Hasn't beaten anybody. Enter OSP. This guy's fought everybody at 205. The only fight at heavyweight is Ben Rothwell, where I think he lost the decision. Or did he win that? He lost the decision, but it was a close fight. All Ben Rothwell's fights are pretty much close. So enter him against Tanner Bozier. He is taller than Tanner Bozier. OSP, it's a miracle this guy makes 205. He's a big boy. He's going to be happy that he's not cut the weight. I just don't love how he fights. He's very patient. He likes to counter. Doesn't like to use his wrestling offensively all that much, even though he is really good on top. Has some good chokes. I think Tanner Bozier, again, literally went and quarantined and then went right back to the UFC. Like, didn't even go home and train. So he's just off his last training camp. It looked like he had some pretty good cardio last time. I hate this fight. I'm going to pick Bozier because I am high on him. I'm not ready to give up on him yet. I kind of forgive him from the Lillard Latifi fight. OSP, a little bit older, looked okay at heavyweight. This is a better heavyweight because Tanner Bozier isn't like a huge heavyweight like Rothwell was. I just don't like his activity. I think the guy needs to be a little more active. I think he needs to let his hands go. I think he needs to be a little more confident. And Bozier, I think just it can pick him apart from the outside, move really well. I think this fight's going to keep it on the feet, and then if anything, could be on the clinch. If you're OSP, I would take this fight to the ground. I just don't know if he wants to do that. I just don't think he's mentally prepared for that. So I'm going to go Tanner Bozier, even though I don't love it. All right, here we go. Main event time. Big boys again. Cyril Gane, who's a minus 177 versus Alexander Volkov, who is a plus 145 underdog. When they announced this fight, I didn't get excited. I don't really get excited for many heavyweight fights, unfortunately. But the more I thought about it, the more I'm excited about it. Alexander Volkov's a guy I have never really been on the right side of. I've picked against him quite a few times. Cyril Gane's a guy I've been on since day one. He's only been, he's 8-0 undefeated in the UFC. Very early in his MMA career, had a kickboxing career, yada, yada. But then you look at Volkov, and even in his losses, besides the Derek Lewis loss, which he was winning, so I retake that back. He was beating Derek Lewis and then got caught with a fucking sledgehammer. Curtis Blades got taken down every 5 seconds, but worked to his feet, showed heart, didn't show quit, just couldn't figure out that fucking wrestling. This is a guy who destroyed Alex Overeem, like made Reem quit, made Walt Harris rethink being a striker, with the front body kicks hurt Walt Harris. This is a good fight. This is a competitive fight. Cyril Gane has had really no trouble in the UFC. He has beat Tanner Bozier. He decisioned Jairzinho Rosenstruck his last time out, which was a really boring fight. He played it safe. He has good cardio. He's shown it. He's got good defense. He's got good movement. It's hard to find him. And he's got big power as well. He's shown that he's got power. And he's got some decent ground game. I think he has a win by submission. Former training partner and sparring partner of Francis Ngannou. I don't know why I blanked on that. Volkov, though, when he fought in Bellator, he was a Bellator champion. He was just a skinny, tall, he's 6'7", right? Skinny, tall, decent striker, decent grappler, but got away a lot with his height. Comes UFC, he's filling out. He's 32 years old. He's in his motherfucking prime, and he's looking thick this week. And I don't know if he's lost. This could be, just because tattoos are on my brain. I don't know if he's lost since he's got the giant back piece, right? 2 dominant wins over Alex Overeem and Walt Harris. Don't know if he's lost. He's got a beautiful number next to his name. Gorgeous number. I'm going Alexander Volkov for 2 reasons. I think he keeps it at range. I think that front kick's a problem. I think it's going to be a very measuring striking contest. Both guys are high-level strikers. It's going to be a measuring of the striking contest. I don't think Cyril Gane's going to want to get it to the floor. I think he could maybe want to clinch with Volkov. But Volkov has got the height, got the reach, got the leverage. He's good in the clinch as well. Good knees. Cyril Gane, again, he's not built, his body's not built for wrestling, right? So his cardio is built on striking. He's not going to want to wrestle. He can't wrestle for 5 rounds. He just can't. I think that's the only way to beat Volkov right now, is if you want to wrestle him or if you're Francis Ngannou. I think Volkov is going to be a problem with range. I think he's finding his range better. I think his hands are getting better. His kicks are dynamite. And he's aggressive and he's confident. He feels himself. He knows. He's been in there with some of the best in the UFC. And he's withstood it. He's been in there, right? He's taken the fucking Derek Lewis shots. He's got that over with. He's experienced the Curtis Blades wrestling, which is, to me, on the next level of heavyweight wrestling. So I like Volkov here. I do. I think Cyril Gane's getting pushed a little early. I'm high on the kid. I think this is just going to be a minor step back for him. And I like Alexander Volkov to win at plus 145. That's a gorgeous number, baby. Gorgeous number. All right. That's the show, everybody. Thanks for watching and listening. Whatever. Again, MMA Takes Podcast on YouTube. I'm pumping out video content. You can see my face. You can see my dumb face. I don't look at the camera. The production's still a little shaky, but we're going to iron it out. As always, MMA Takes Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and Apple. Go to Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast from. But if you get your podcast at Apple, stroll down to the bottom, hit the subscribe button, hit rate and review, because it helps. Every motherfucking thing helps, okay? I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Let's go.